This is going to be a reading for the sign of Cancer. Anywhere that you have prominent Cancer placements, this reading could be for you. I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic, and we're going to take a look at what could be coming up in the next couple weeks or so. This reading is timeless, so whenever you come across it, it means that there's probably a message somewhere in here for you. For Cancer. I probably won't be able to show you guys all the cards. Actually, most of the cards I won't be able to show, but I'll try. I'll try to cover up what I can. All right, Cancer. Let's take a look at what's going on. Show me Cancer's current energy right now. What's in the current? Nine of Swords is in the current. Okay. What's crossing? What's crossing? The Nine of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. Okay. What's at the Crown? The Seven of Chalices. What's at the Heart? What's at the Heart? This one. The Lovers is at the Heart. What's behind? Temperance is behind. What's in front? Queen of Wands is in front. Okay. How do you see yourself? How does Cancer see themselves right now? Four of Wands. How do others see Cancer? Okay, that's it. Page of Wands. They see you as the Page of Wands. Okay. What's in your hopes and fears? Nope, nothing. the Tower. Okay, and what's the overall outcome? What's the overall outcome? For Cancer. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Let's look at this. So just from looking at the way that things are mapped out, with the Nine of Swords in the center here, this kind of talks about a situation where there's back and forth. Traditionally, Nine of Swords talks about, just stress, anxiety, constant triggers in relationships, or just being stressed out from work, obligations, responsibilities. But in this particular tarot deck, it talks about trial and errors in just relationships. The Knight of Pentacles crossing could represent a person, right? But it also talks about, and I can actually show this one, but it also talks about fruit that is not ripened yet. So it takes a long time to wait for the right moment. You don't want to eat the fruit too early because then it's bitter. It's hard, there's no juice there. The Knight of Pentacles is a slow mover. So this could speak to maybe a person that is dragging their feet, or this could speak to the pace that a situation has been energetically between you and another, or just the way that things have been feeling for you. Things have been slow. In the Crown, which represents our mind, our thoughts, our dreams, all that, we have the Seven of Chalices, which talks about dreams. It talks about fantasies and our imagination and wanting to live those ideals out in real life. So perhaps that is something on your mind. Maybe from this stress, you have this longing or desire. It's like, man, I just want things to get better. I just want things to go the way as planned. Like we all do. We're all human beings. We all desire that. But in this particular case, this could be talking about a relationship that might have a push and pull to it, where it's like you can't live with and you can't live without, if that makes sense. But see, when we get to those points in our minds, we'll have these ideals, but they're also just dreams. They're just fantasies. There's a longing there. There's a hope there. But you're in this point where you're trying to figure out whether it's possible to bring that to reality. The reason why I know that is because in your heart, in the root, we have the Lover's card. I can't really show. Okay, it's a guy with two women, all right? But in traditional tarot, it talks about not just love, but also about a choice. So this could be where you're trying to figure out what to do. It doesn't mean you have to choose between two people. Maybe it's just you trying to make a decision as to whether you want to stay in a particular situation or not. If that's not what it is, then this is about you really seeking to have union. You want to seek someone that can be your companion, be someone that, you can rely on. The Lovers, it's the card of union. It's the card of opposites coming together, because it also is the card of Gemini. And Gemini talks about two different twins, right? Like they're opposites, but they complement each other. They can't, one cannot exist without the other type of thing. So, but if this is concerning to people that you're trying to make a choice of, that could also be it too. In the past, what's behind is the Temperance card. So temperance in traditional tarot usually speaks of transmutation of energy, going through some process of transmuting negative energy into positive energy. It could have a different meaning in this tarot deck. So let me just double check. Temperance. Okay. It has a different meaning in this deck, I guess. Discontent. Filter of love. Friendly, but cool relations to be warmed up with the magic of plants. The filter of love sparks a slumbering desire and restores harmony to the relationship. So, okay, this could also speak of what has been taking place in a specific relationship that you've been in. Yeah. This could also talk about how maybe you guys started off as friends before it turned into a relationship. But it's also representing discontent, discontentment. But perhaps transmuting that discontent feeling into a more balanced, neutral energy. What is coming soon? We have the Queen of Wands. This could... I'm going to read this first. The Queen of Wands, this one is undressing, magic of the entwined rings. Honesty and devotion between partners are born of daily pleasures. You must seduce your partner every day as if it were always the first time. I like that card. Yeah, so this could speak of, well, I'm getting two different messages here. It's good advice for a relationship that you're in currently, right? To get the spark back, to heal things, to mend differences or anything like that. But seducing, undressing. So I'm getting another message now too. Okay. This could be about things going to the next level. This could be talking about a friend that you might not be with. A friend that you might have romantic feelings for. Maybe it is the Queen of Wands. If not that, then yeah, maybe this is somebody that you have not expressed your feelings to. But with the Seven of Chalices and the Crown, that talks about like having those fantasies or dreams of that. The Knight of Pentacles can talk about waiting for something to ripen. And the Nine of Swords is like, it's like trial and error. Just maybe there's been some drama, or let's say that maybe you guys do have a past and it didn't go very well, but you guys maintained a friendship or something. I'm getting other messages like that. But anyways, so the Queen of Wands can either represent somebody that you come across, maybe they approach you, man or woman, okay? Or this could represent you having an intimate moment with somebody that is very fiery and seductive. But since it talks about honesty and devotion, I almost feel another scenario that came to my mind is if you are in a connection, this could be somebody else that you could be tempted by. If you're a man, you could be tempted by somebody that comes into your life. If you're a woman, someone could find you very tempting and you might not have a clue about it. And they could just be flirting with you. And maybe you try to make sure and keep things at a friendship level, whichever situation fits. But those are the other scenarios I see too. How you see yourself is the Four of Wands. And in traditional tarot, the Four of Wands talks about strong foundation. It talks about happy family, happy home, being content. So it's opposite of discontent. I'll go ahead and read it in here though. I like the picture on this card because it is spicy. Let me tell you. Something that I definitely want to do soon. Anyways, okay. So, continuing. Four of Wands, playing. The magic of the seven beings, sexual intent is born of play and enjoyment, just as harmony is born of happiness. So this could talk about, you're trying to be positive. You see yourself as trying to always keep the vibe positive, right? You don't like to let people down. You like to be supportive to others because the Four of Wands is like a support system. So you see yourself, or you hold yourself to, you hold responsibility in that regard to helping others feel good about themselves, to be a support. And then the Page of Wands is how others see you. I can show this one. This isn't too bad. So Page of Wands, right? Page of Wands is a smooth talker, very charismatic. Usually I think about the guy in this picture being the Page of Wands, right? But the woman can also be. I mean, it doesn't have to be man or woman, but the energy behind it is very adventurous, but not serious. Wanting to have fun, wanting to have a good time. Maybe a little bit naive at times, but uplifting, optimistic, ready for an adventure. Your hopes and fears is the Tower card. And the picture in this card, I most definitely cannot show, but it talks about a fear of betrayal. It talks about a deep fear of being wronged and being used, which every single one of us can relate to. We all have that fear. But it's more prominent for you in this reading. So that makes me feel as though this wound is quite fresh for you, for it to be coming out right away in the hopes and fears. It could either be referring to a relationship with a person that you're in right now. With the Nine of Swords, there's been a lot of drama, a lot of, stress, not being able to get on the same page, and wanting things to be more ideal, wanting the situation to work out in a better way. This is another thing I'm seeing here. Perhaps another reason why things can feel tumultuous. The Queen of Wands coming in here in what's coming up. I look at this picture and I think to myself, what if, this is something that someone sees in their mind, and these are visions that are happening that could trigger a response in somebody. Whereas like seduction, this could be a conversation. Let's say there's a conversation that will be coming up about devotion. How devoted are you? How much do you really want to invest in this? That's also what I'm seeing. But it can spark jealousy. Queen of Wands is also a very passionate, fiery kind of energy. And sometimes the Queen of Wands can spark envy and jealousy in other people, or King of Wands even. I'm just looking at the energy here. So someone that is viewing that, like if someone were to come on very flirtatious, it could be taken a different way. Like if someone were to do that to your partner, or you know what I'm trying to say. So that's what I mean is like, I think that's a fear that's quite fresh. And with the Temperance in what's in the past, being about discontent, having to transmute some negative energy to make it balanced again, maybe something did happen. Or there is maybe a choice to make between two different people. I mean, you can apply it however you like. But the Tower here is showing that fear. And then, and I'm also seeing with the Tower card here is it takes a big, someone could be very fearful of how it can really affect like their confidence, and it affects like everyone, like any kind of situation of betrayal affects confidence. But there's something sticking out here in particular with the picture I'm seeing that I almost feel like this could be a specific message, not for all, but maybe there's a fear here of some like a particular friend or friendship that is causing an issue in a relationship. Yeah, it could be that too. Or if, that's for the males, for females, it could also be where you are trying to make a decision on, just apply however it fits for you guys. But I'm just seeing different things here. Yeah. Let's say that if you're the one that has to make a choice between two people, the Tower card could mean that there's this fear of what if I choose the wrong person? That too. Okay, so in the overall outcome, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And I'm noticing that we have the Seven of Chalices in the crown right now. Seven of Pentacles being in the overall. Traditionally, the Seven of Pentacles talks about investment. It talks about still kind of being in a waiting phase for something. But let me read it just in case. So in this deck, it is tiredness, the magic of the seven knots. A love cannot remain pure and precious over time unless you learn how to give energy to your partner. Okay. So This is also, I'm getting another thing. Okay, sorry guys. I'm just trying to put it all together, okay? So in case this is about some tumultuous situation in a relationship, it seems that you guys might have to put more efforts into making it work. That's the overall outcome. There's going to need to be some more healing. There's going to need to be some more investments from both sides. If this is not talking about a relationship currently, this could talk about like somebody who maybe has to make a choice on a situation and they realize that they're just, I don't know, maybe just choosing to not even give energy to it anymore. This could either be you or somebody else. I almost see it as a possibility that just know that we just got out of eclipse season. So the next 6 months are going to be unfolding more of a falling away. All the things that aren't meant to continue on with us are going to naturally fall away out of our life. So I kind of view that as whatever is not energetically meant to be in your life is going to slowly kind of fade away. But I don't see anything tumultuous out of it. I just see that you might be tired of having to go through the same cycles. If this is a repeating cycle of stress, I just see the outcome as not having the energy to continue putting forth, to continue putting up with stress. So, but I mean, if both people, if you're willing to work on things, then Seven of Pentacles is still about investment. So, but it is a tiring process for sure, because it takes time. Let's go ahead and pull some Manara cards for you, Cancer. Some cards for Cancer. Okay. I got your card at the end. Judgment at the bottom. Well, there's definitely something transforming. Everybody's going through transformative experiences, so don't worry. So first card we have is the Jupiter in Gemini, which talks about, miscommunications, scattered communication, misunderstandings. That could also be a part of the issue, is just you guys see things differently, not always on the same page. Then we have the stars, which talks about hope, trying to find like more of the bright side of things. Then we have strength. I can't show this card because it's interesting. And yeah, so let's just say that there's a lot of strength in someone's, it's very hardened. But this is also the card of Libra. It's showing Libra here. So, oh, and then the stars card is Aquarius. So you could be either dealing with Aquarius or a Libra, but stars and strength, it's like having the endurance, but strength can also talk about holding back and repressing things as well. Then we have the Nine of Fire, which is Moon in Sagittarius. And I like this card because it's her, she's pulling out his thing in public. it's very adventurous, just like Sagittarius. And so this is your desire for that spontaneity, right? These could represent some experiences that you might be having within the next couple weeks. Situations that could come up. And then, of course, we have the last card out, the Queen of Water, which is the sign of Cancer. So I can also read the meanings of these cards. I know that the Eight of Air is that miscommunication, feeling almost like trapped in a way because of the miscommunication and how much stress that causes. The Stars is, let's see, that is beauty, dance, enthusiasm, purity, but it's also Aquarius, which means detachment, coldness. Then the Strength card is power, vigor, courage, virtue, triumph over brutality, and having ambition. So pushing through things, but also can stand for, like, accompanied with the detachment, it could be about repressing things too. And then Libra, I balance, harmony, union, trying to find that. So in a way, it's like the Temperance card I pulled in the past, like a resurgence of that energy. Then the Nine of Fire is vigilance, defense, limit, attention. And then Moon is Sagittarius, the need to feel free and unencumbered when dealing with changes. So in that sense, I feel like you might have this desire to break out of some kind of, constrained, like feeling restrained. And I was sensing that a little bit in here too. So you want to have this, you have a desire to break free out of like this feeling of like being boxed in. Just be careful though, because if there's temptations, then that could lead to something that's not so great, right? Oh, hold on, Ranger. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I definitely don't want him to see these cards. Alan walked in on the Aquarius one and now the Cancer one. Okay. It's all right. It's all right. So let's read the Queen of Water, man or woman. Okay. Can apply to you. This one is lover, faithful friend, honesty, apparition. You seen ghosts? Clairvoyance, sensitivity. So Cancer, okay, this is just the description in the book that it has for Cancer. Lunatic, emotional, receptive. Don't take it personal. It's just, that's what it says in the book. Okay, so it's just kind of explaining how some of the energies can get when it's on the extremes. The same goes for Pisces and Scorpio, and we all have our ups and downs. But I see that as you just going through the things, right? Just handling things as it comes, and pay attention to what your body is telling you intuitively. How does your body respond to the people that you interact with? Especially with this card coming out, talking about being receptive to energy. This could be a message for you to where it reminds you to pay close attention to the way your body feels when you're around certain people. Do you get really anxious? Does your heart start beating faster? Do you start to talk more, but talking out of anxiety? Do you feel like your nervous system is calm or alarmed? That's how we learn about where we're at. And I just recently started learning this about myself. And it's a huge difference. It really is. Because there's certain things that can drain you without you even realizing it. And it could be from certain people that you're around. So just keep that in mind. Especially if, they have toxic types of tendencies or patterns. That's what I see for you, Cancer. It's quite long, but I'm glad we kind of dived into it. I hope you liked it. Peace out.